The review video that we have for today is a man explaining. He looks like a reasonable guy, looks like a regular guy, a guy that you would see shopping in a grocery store, older gentleman, probably in his 50s, I'm assuming. And he's explaining how he became homeless. Regular, everyday guy, I'm assuming. I didn't get a chance to really deep dive into it. But a lot of you guys sent it to me in order to review. Thank you. My name, Joe, and Anthony Boom. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. Bree Renee on YouTube is a podcast. All right, I'm going to check that out. But this is a man that is explaining how he went broke. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's see what we can mine out of this from a value perspective. First of all, before I even look at it, his name is Trent B. Clever. Trent B. Clever. I like to give credit to the content creators. I want to make sure that I give more visibility to other content creators. And, always give credit where credit is due. So whether I agree with you or not, I always like to recognize the people that created the content because I think that that's the right thing to do. Okay? Trent B. Clever is his name. He got 260 subscribers. If you like this video, make sure you go over there and you let him know that Anton from AntonDaniels.com sent you. All right? Let's get it popping.
What's up, everybody? This is the one and only Trent B. Clever coming to you live out that 405 in Oklahoma City. Now residing in T-Town, it's also known as Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today I'm be talking about my situation, becoming homeless and whatnot.
Hey, if y'all record outside, sometimes, depending on what the circumstance is, if y'all gonna have a long video, make sure that y'all get y'all a windscreen, all right? Or get you the little fluffy thing in order to block out the wind. Let's continue.
Up to that, and so let's get into it. Well, I was working as a paraprofessional teacher, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. And unfortunately, the school I was working at ended up letting me go due to a lack of funding in that department. So once that occurred, I still had 2 or 3 more checks coming, I think, over the summer. And what happened was, of course, my lease agreement went up, had to be renewed the following summer, so my lease went up. And on top of that, I was due to have surgery because I've been having some health issues involving my hip, which is called necrosis, vascular necrosis, along with other health issues, which is like sickle cell anemia. It's funny I can smile at that, but at the time it really wasn't funny.
Most of the people that I've ever, because, I've talked to you guys and I've said that, I've done a lot of volunteer work in my life. And for a year straight, I went and did volunteer work with homeless people on Saturdays. Most of the people that I ran into was not a degenerate. It was not a person that was dancing in traffic, asking for money for crack or nothing like that. Most of the people that I've ever worked with, as far as, helping out or doing volunteer work with, if you listen and you talk to them or you meet them long enough, a lot of them are regular, everyday people just like me and you. They had a health issue or they had a health scare. They was living paycheck to paycheck. And then eventually something happened that knocked them off of their square. And then eventually they had to let something go and they wound up living in their car and they never really got back from it. So what I personally experienced, at least here in Detroit, that a lot of the people that wind up going homeless, and this was a while ago, but a lot of the people that wind up going homeless, was just one paycheck away or one financial disaster or one medical bill or one hospitalization away from losing everything. And they got so far behind and they had to let something go and then they wound up living in their car. But let's continue.
Anyway, moving further along. So what ended up happening is I ended up not renewing the lease agreement because I couldn't afford to. I ended up losing my apartment the month before my birthday, my 44th birthday.
That's crazy.
And so I ended up with my last paycheck packing up all my things in the U-Haul truck, moving myself, and moving down to putting those things in storage. So I put those things in storage. My brother was supposed to help me, but we got into this disagreement, and so I didn't, at the time I was already stressed out under pressure, so I didn't feel like really arguing, and it just got, one thing led to another, and things got crazy. So I ended up moving myself, and ended up living out my car. And then I was in the shelter at Salvation Army for 2 months.
It's crazy.
Job searching, got me a caseworker, applied for Section 8, applied for public housing, HUD housing, etc. And was putting on a 2-year waiting list for a housing voucher.
Again, a lot of the love and support usually is highlighted in women. Women are the ones that get a lot, and this is just the truth. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. A lot of women wind up getting a lot of the resources, but you don't really hear about men talking about. First of all, this is not something that men usually talk about. Men usually stay low key. They're not really trying to tell because they be embarrassed. And we know that as men, the only way that society view us or the way that society judges us or evaluates us is not based off of the amount of help that they can give us, but it's based off of how productive we are. And so you are often overlooked. If you are a man, nobody wants to hear your story. Nobody cares. Nobody is trying to check for you. How productive are you and how awesome are you is the way that we are judged as men. And somebody says, that's an old 44. Yeah. Life has absolutely aged him. 100%. I'm 42, and he looked like he could be my father. Now, I ain't the spryest in the crayon box, you know what I'm saying? But when you getting your butt kicked, you get your butt kicked.
During that course of time also, like I said, I applied for different temp agencies in Oklahoma City, and I was working off and on assignments, but nothing that was consistent or permanent. So I had a little money here, a little money there, and I would use that to try to get bus passes or to move around the city so I can possibly secure other wings of housing and get on my feet. Anyway, after this 60 days, I only had 2 weeks left for the Salvation Army. So I ended up getting a 2-week extension, which I still wasn't able to afford an apartment. So I ended up, I was working that week.
I'm assuming that this is, I hope that he's telling the story and saying that he's back on his feet and he got himself together. I'm hoping that by the end of this story, he's going to say, yeah, I got myself together. I came up. I'm regular. I'm telling y'all what it is that I went through so that you don't have to go through it. Hopefully that's the end of the story.
Winkos for about a month or so. And then for Winkos, I ended up pretty much losing that job because I couldn't get back and forth to work. Because I was having really bad car repair issues between the, behind in car payments, car insurance, my tag and title had expired. I had little or no gas at times. And I ended up pretty much losing my car in October 2023. Lost my job at Winkos. I couldn't make it back and forth. It became a house from the struggle.
So wait. Talk about down bad. Not only did you lose your job, which also ultimately caused you to lose your crib because you couldn't renew your lease. Then you start having car problems and you ain't even got a car that's paid for, which means that you had a lifestyle problem. And then on top of that, they come and repossess your crib, which is your car. And you can't get back and forth to work because you having car troubles. Man, talk about down bad. Jesus Christ.
I'm out the shelter and then be transitioning to a whole new shelter. Grace Rescue Mission was crazy because you had to earn 4 credits and then work around those credits just in order to look for a job. And you only get bus passes unless you had a doctor's appointment or something of that magnitude. Well, I had little or no money, so I had to do what I had to do. A lot of times I'll walk across that bridge downtown Oklahoma City or whatever just to get on my feet, or try to go to the nearest library, which was close in proximity, and I apply for jobs off and on, like Indeed, my resume through Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and other sometimes direct hiring processes. Well, I get a referral letter, and then eventually I end up getting out of there. I was able to get a secure grant in a transitional housing where I was there for 30 days, which is a blessing. But at the same time, it was tough at times to move it back and forth with little or no money. So I ended up getting hired again at another job, which is Walmart seasonal, and I was working as an in-store shopper during the Christmas holiday from December to January of 2024, trying to get back and forth.
But this is recent. Hopefully he got on his feet recently because he was saying that this was just happening last year.
And unfortunately, that job ended up letting me go. It was far across town from where I was staying at the time. And so, if you live in Oklahoma City, understand what I'm talking about, buses don't go everywhere, and buses cut off at a certain time. So, at 6:30 p.m., the bus that I needed to take cut off at a certain time. And especially on weekends, because a lot of times Walmart needed me to work on weekends because they were in high demand. And so that was unfortunate because around 5:30 p.m., guess what? I would get stranded and have to walk was 6-7 miles. And a lot of times with my hip and my body and my health conditions, I couldn't maintain that. So eventually my hours got cut down.
It's a lesson in this. I'm going to give you my thoughts in a second. Light bulb moment.
And eventually I ended up pretty much losing that position. January 2024, weather got crazy, weather got bad, and I was in and out the hospital sick all the time. A lot of issues, sinus allergies. I was having issues with my sickle cell crisis. In between that going on, I was dealing with a vascular necrosis in my hip. Between all that stuff going on, which led to February. I ended up basically in a whole nother shelter, whole nother situation. During this time, got blessed with some new glasses for free, which was truly a blessing. I got new glasses. I had clothes. I was able to get food stamps. So I wasn't starving. My issue was housing, securing permanent housing. Because it seems like being homeless, you're going from one shelter to another or on and off the street. And oftentimes, a lot of the shelters, you're on a deadline. You won't have so much time to be in or to get on your feet. And a lot of the apartments, even low-income housing or income-based apartments, a lot of those you still make 3 times your rent. I wasn't making 3 times the rent. So once I would get approved, I still needed the money for my security deposit, prorate fee, etc. Even if it's a special, and I still approved that I was making 3 times the rent. So March, I ended up staying with another friend of mine, and it was a blessing, but in a sense it wasn't. I was staying there actually sleeping on his sister's air mattress back and forth, and then sleeping in different other places, people's couches, etc., just trying to maintain and take my medication, make my doctor's appointments, stay positive, stay uplifted. I always pray. Prayer got me through a lot. My mother encouraging me, telling me to fight and not give up, because a lot of times I feel like giving up. I didn't have a lot of support from...
Where's the mama saying? Go back with mama. Go make up with brother. Jesus. Listen, sometimes pride get the best of you, and I'll be like, hey man, listen. I ain't really trying to be out here in these streets. Let me go ahead and fix the situation.
Close friends or family. Now that I think about it, I don't even consider those people close friends. But as far as like family, I can lean on my mom, for support, and she supported and encouraged me over the phone, and praying for me.
Mama said, I'm gonna tell you what it is that you can do, but you just can't come here. I'm gonna pray for you though.
Because she could barely help herself, and at the time she was in a whole nother area in a living assistance center.
Oh, she in a living assistance
center. Right along,
center.
So I decided, a friend of mine offered me an opportunity to come down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I was blessed with some a little bit of income. So I bought me a Greyhound bus ticket. Came out here 3 weeks ago to Tulsa, Oklahoma, for a fresh new start, a fresh new location, a fresh new everything, just to get on my face and feel a whole lot better, to get on my feet and feel a whole lot better, and encouragement and inspired. So sometimes you got to get out from your old surroundings, man, because sometimes a lot of things can block your blessings. Sometimes negative energy, depression, stress. I had high blood pressure and having that, and a whole lot of things going on because of my stress level at the time, being homeless and going from one place to another, not really getting a lot of sleep at night, having health problems, job searching, networking, just trying to get on my feet here and there. And it's a struggle when you're trying to do it all by yourself, But I continued to keep smiling and keep my faith in God and kept pushing forward, which led me, of course, down to Tulsa. I've been in 3 weeks now. I've been same search, but it's a little bit more settled now. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through. For real, that is a real thing. Even though it sounds cliche, it's a real thing. So anyway, now, again, like I said, I'm in Tulsa, job searching, networking. I was able to get me a 31-day pass, which is a blessing, to move around the city, to learn the city, to go to temp agencies, to set up interviews, to go to career fairs. And so I'm just keeping my faith in God and keep my head up high and going from there. So hopefully this inspires and encourages somebody who's been homeless or currently homeless.
This ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. Listen, respectfully, big dog. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sympathetic and I have empathy for you because I'm never going to kick somebody when they down. I can't control the chat. The chat is its own monster. I be telling people all the time, like, listen, I know y'all used to something else over there on Instagram and TikTok, but it's not as supportive. These is equal accountability partners over here at the Chasers. You know what I'm saying? Let me say this. I'm not sure how this encourages anybody. I thought we was going to get some sort of a success story. Let me see the rest of the video and then we'll go.
Not to give up, keep your faith in God. Romans 8:28, all things work out for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. I believe in my life that I have purpose. You know, I don't know if you saw my bio or profile, but I'm a filmmaker, creator, artist, screenwriter, director, producer, editor. I like to do a lot of things with the arts. I'm always writing. I love to write. I'm always writing and always praying. So hopefully you see this. Hopefully you're inspired. Never give up. Keep fighting. Keep writing. Keep staying strong. Keep praying. Keep meditating. But it's going to work out for the better. I do believe that. So thank you for listening to this video.
Listen, again, his name is Trent B. Clever. Trent B. Clever. If you like his content or you see value in what it is that he's talking about, go ahead and check it out and then let him know that Anton from AntonDaniels.com sent you. I'm not really sure how inspirational it is. Trying to get the good out of it before I actually tell y'all what my thoughts are. Nah, skip it. Whatever. Let me just say this. The thing that I hit on a regular basis when I'm talking to you guys, and I'm going to get y'all up out of here shortly. The thing that I hit up on a regular basis when I'm talking to you guys is the decisions that you make today. The decisions that you make today at different times in your life is largely going to affect who you are tomorrow. Everything gets exponentially more of what it is that you decide to do today. So if you are sowing seeds and you're doing the right thing and you're taking care of business and you're being frugal and you being intentional and you're not letting what it is that you got going on ultimately, or what everybody else is saying, ultimately affect your lifestyle, then you're going to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. Early sacrifices. If you eat differently or whatever, then ultimately you grow up to be incredibly healthy. My point is that it also happens on the flip side. So one of the things, again, and I'm empathetic and I have a lot of sympathy for a situation and I'm praying for him. God bless you, man. I hope that everything works out for you and that you get back on your feet. But I will also say that I didn't hear the other side of the story. How did he get into this situation in the first place? What was his spending habits like? When he had money, when he had a job? What decisions did he make earlier in his life that got him to the point to where when he's 44, ultimately got him crashing out and catching Greyhound tickets in order to try to get his life together? I seen a YouTuber and I was thinking about reviewing this video today, but I didn't really care for it. And they was saying, I messed up in my 20s and my 30s, and it's okay if you didn't find yourself then, you can find yourself in your 40s. Whatever it is that you do, wherever it is that you are, you become exponentially more of that. If you are a trash person or you mismanage your funds, then you're going to have to suffer on the back end. If you do the right thing that's important to you and you focus on yourself instead of focusing on what everybody else says, then you ultimately going to get the results of it. And so, we got to make better decisions earlier, not just look for sympathy and empathy when we find ourselves in a difficult situation, because then that would say that in a lot of instances, we're not taking responsibility and ownership of why we got into that situation in the first place. And I do understand life happens to people. It happens to everybody. Just because you are a good person does not necessarily mean that that's going to translate into you having a phenomenal, rich life. Your riches, you may have to wait for them riches in the afterlife, because there's plenty of people that died broke that was good people. You know what I'm saying? So I want it all. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. I'm not trying to be out here crashing out. I want to live a phenomenal life on earth as well as in heaven. And best of luck to him. I hope he does well, and I hope his channel ultimately blows up. Let me read a few.